Hello everybody and welcome to Mariah Sanctuary. I'm Mariah. Today's unplanned video is on the topic of Alex Henry, and he's an autistic man who's locked up for murder under joint enterprise laws. He's been locked up for over 10 years after a friend stabbed a stranger. And I wanted to do this case because I feel like there was injustice done in this case. And for this one, I'm going to be reading my tablet, so if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, so the start of this article goes, and the article is called, just to let you know, the article is on the Independent website, which is a news article in the UK, because this is where this case was done. And the article is titled, Autistic Man Still Locked Up for Murder Under Joint Enterprise Laws 10 Years After Friend Stabbed Stranger. Okay, and we're starting the article. It says, Autistic man spent more than 10 years behind bars under joint enterprise laws for murder as his friend stabbed a man to death during a fight. And just so you know, viewer discussion advised, because some of this may be too much for some people to handle. For Alex Henry's family, their lives changed overnight when he set off with friends for a day of shopping in West London, which resulted in his mother receiving a phone call from police to inform her that he had been arrested for murder. While in Ealing Broadway on August 6, 2013, Henry and his friends became involved in a conversation with four random older strangers, which resulted in belt buckles being used as weapons and punches being thrown. After entering the scene late, Henry admitted he threw a mobile phone and landed one punch before running away. Unbeknownst to him, however, one of his friends, Cameron Ferguson, had concealed a knife in a carrier bag and used it to kill a man. And I'm so sorry if I say the victim's name wrong. I think his name is Takwa Kazun. Hi, I'm so sorry. And wounded another. It was only later that day that the then 21-year-old would discover that a stabbing had occurred during a 45-second scuffle, and that the victim died a while later in the hospital. With his partner pregnant with his daughter, his family had felt relieved that when Ferguson pled guilty to murder, telling Henry, "You can be a father now." Despite this, and there being no evidence that Henry was aware of the knife, an Old Bailey jury convicted him of murder under joint enterprise. Under the controversial joint enterprise law at the time, Henry and another associate were deemed by the jury to have been able to foresee their friend had a knife, with the prosecution arguing friends tell each other everything. And of course, I don't believe that, because it depends on your friendship or if you'll be told everything or not. That's just Mariah's thought for that particular statement. The jury were not told that he was autistic and had been incorrectly directed under the law. Despite the law of joint enterprise changing in 2016 and several reports confirming to the court that Henry was autistic, attempts to free him from prison have so far failed. He is now set to appeal to the UN Committee of Rights of Persons with Disability, or CRPD, in hopes that they will decide that the UK government should take action. For Alex to have been convicted as a joint accomplice to murder, he would have had to know that his friend intended to cause at least really serious bodily harm, which is not possible when he was not even aware that there was a knife, his sister Charlotte said. who his sister also is trained as a criminal lawyer, and she told this to The Independent. Due to the spontaneity of it and the fact that there was no verbal communication between the two groups, it would have been very difficult for Alex, especially an autistic person, to foresee what would happen. Her brother was first diagnosed with autism in 2015 and has since received 3 reports which have been submitted to the Court of Appeal, all of which determined that it would have been very difficult for him to predict that a knife would have been used in the scenario. Top psychologist, Professor Simon Baron Cohen, previously gave evidence to the court after assessing Henry and likened the case to convicting someone from walking into a wall, then realizing that they were blind. Yet, despite this, the Criminal Cases Review Commission has refused to refer the case back for appeal and a mercy petition to the previous government's Secretary of State for Justice, and was also rejected. Among many jailers under the joint enterprise, Henry and his family are campaigning to reform the law and have argued that criminal liability should only apply to those who have made a significant contribution to the offense. When the Supreme Court ruled in 2016 that the landmark case R versus Jogly or Joggy, that juries have been directed incorrectly for 30 years, and a defendant must have intentionally assisted or encouraged a crime to be convicted. Henry's family has hoped that this would lead to his early release. However, this change has not been applied retrospectively, meaning that he has languished behind bars for over a decade after being given a life sentence with a minimum of 19 years before he can apply for parole. With the assistance of Felicity Gary Casey, a defense barrister or lawyer who led the R versus Joggy appeal, he is now appealing to the UN CRPD in hopes that they intervene with this case and appeal directly to the new Labour government. Dr. Gary Casey told The Independent, Alex has been affected by every problem in the justice system related to joint enterprise, and his conviction is totally unsafe. It is beyond me how he's still in prison, morally and legally. We know that the law was wrong. The jury did not know about his autism, and it is beyond me how that has occurred in the 21st century, when so much is known about young people with neurodiversive conditions. Jan Cunliffe, and I'm so sorry if I said that wrong, co-founder of the campaign group Joint Enterprise Not Guilty by Association, added, Alex is a great example of poor quality evidence used and the fact that people with disabilities do not have the same access to justice. We have got other autistic men, women, and children, and the vagueness of joint enterprise is very good at trapping those individuals, she said. Henry's family now hopes that this application to the UN committee will successfully argue that the UK has discriminated against him by not taking his autism into account. Because his autism is an invisible disability, it's not believed, Charlotte said. Speaking of the last decade, she said that it's been increasingly stressful for her brother, who is currently in his second year of an open university degree in fitness and coaching, which he is taking while an inmate at HMP Dovegate. Me and my mom have gone through serious bouts of depression, is what she said, and have but Alex has remained so strong for us, she said. It's a sense of injustice that has caused most damage out of all of this. I hope that that Alex Henry and his family, as well as the victim's family of the person who actually did the crime, gets the justice they deserve. All the people, like basically all the parties that were done injustice in this case, get the justice they deserve. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Bye.